Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Keyshawn Davis declines the Haney opportunity. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know if this is smart business or a missed opportunity. Sometimes in boxing, man, when you get an opportunity to fight a big name for maybe not so big money, you got to do it. Now, for Keyshawn Davis, his last fight, he made a little bit over $400,000. The word on the street is for this fight, he wanted to make $5 million after all of his fees had been paid, coaches, everything. He wanted to pocket $5 million. They just weren't going to get there. Keyshawn Davis is a silver medalist. He's one of the superstars in boxing, but he's not a superstar. So to think he's going to make $5 million is ridiculous to me. But it's driven a huge debate. And that debate is centering on Keyshawn Davis not moving forward to fight Devin Haney, what some people call Debo Haney. And look, people are split. One side, they feel that turning down a fight with Haney creates a perception that Keyshawn Davis putting duck sauce on the fried rice. And he's afraid. I personally think if he would have fought Devin Haney, could have been like maybe Jarrell in his fight in Crawford a couple years ago. He has some talent, superstar potential, but maybe just not ready. Or it could have been like Xander Zayas fighting Bocinus, where Zayas was a champion. But again, the difference in experience just showed that Jarrell was more experienced, comfortable, and more well-rounded. So that could be another thing. But I do think elite fighters need to face elite competition. But I also understand that it's a business. And opportunities to fight against guys like Devin Haney, established champions, it doesn't come often. So we're going to see what the future holds for Keyshawn. But about the money, if the purse split doesn't make long-term business sense, there's no obligation to accept immediately. I understand that. But it goes back to what I was just saying about the opportunity. But I do understand young fighters should maximize earning potential rather than rush into unfavorable deals. But now you pass out, you miss up on a couple million to fight Devin, and now you go fight your next fight for a few $100,000, and let's say you lose that. Because Keyshawn Davis can't move down the ladder. He got to move up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? So for his next fight, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know what kind of money he's going to make. But I don't know if he's going to make the kind of money he would have made if he fought Devin. But if he fought Devin, maybe he loses. But you can lose any fight. I just think if he does go forward in another fight, maybe this is his way of trying to build more leverage to produce a larger payday. But you got to understand, you're fighting Devin for his title. 75-25 split. It is what it is. So maybe Keyshawn's like, I'll fight somebody else and get a title first. Who's he going to fight at 147 and beat and get a title? They got some guys at 147 who get busy. And Keyshawn can fight, but he ain't proven at 147. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I just think experience matters. Experience matters, and timing is just as important as the talent. It's just these young dudes be annoying me sometimes. And I just feel like they should be fighting. That's just how I see it. You know what I'm saying? You get a situation where a young contender faces an established elite fighter. I think that speaks volume if they beat him. But then if you lose, some people say, well, look, he didn't reach his full maturity. Talking about Keyshawn, he fought Devin, who's established, and he lost. So now he loses his drawing power. So it sounds like it's a simple lesson. But I just tell you this, man, y'all can say what you want. Great fighters, experienced fighters can still lose against the young buck who's climbing the mountain. But then the young buck climbs the mountain and he loses. They say he's trying to climb the mountain too early. So I like to look at both sides of the argument. But it doesn't mean that the old head lacks ability or the young buck lacks ability. I just think it's styles make fights. But also, when it comes to the young guy, development takes time. But for the old guy, sometimes it may be the better fighter. But on fight night, the better fighter doesn't win. It's the boxer who performs the best on that night. So maybe it could have been Keyshawn, but we won't know right now. Because Keyshawn, man, and that whole Keyshawn Devin Haney fight, that ship has sailed. And I'll be honest with you, man, I don't. It's just like when Shakur was supposed to fight Keyshawn. I think this has something to do with it. I mean, Shakur was supposed to fight Devin Haney. It was an opportunity for them to fight for undisputed. Shakur turned that shit down. Now, if he would have lost to Devin, would Shakur be where he's at right now? So the gamble played off. And maybe Keyshawn's looking at it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Shakur turned down the Devin Haney fight. I'm going to turn it down. It's going to create a buzz around my name. I'm going to go my own way. And maybe Keyshawn is looking to do what Shakur did. But Shakur kept winning in a dominating fashion. I'm not saying Keyshawn doesn't have a talent, but he ain't Shakur Stevenson. And that's just being real. Now, as far as Claressa Shields back in the headlines. Look, man, she back in the headlines. Always in the headlines, man. Following her recent interview and that social media discussion about her saying Papoose is not anybody's husband, suggesting that he ain't married because he filed a divorce paperwork. Everyone right now is saying the repeated controversy with Claressa Shields just overshadowed her extraordinary accomplishments inside the ring, and they're tired. Others continue to support her, but, you get criticized if you support Claressa Shields, and that's understandable. So the public opinion remains deeply divided. But this is the thing. Public perception affects careers. Okay? Now, for her, I've talked about this in other videos, so I ain't going to get too deep on it. You judge more than just your wins and your losses. Sponsors, broadcasters, promoters, they evaluate public image, consistency, reliability, marketability. That's why Claressa can't fight outside of her promotional company right now. At least that's how it seems. Nobody seems to be breaking their neck to partnership with her and Win Records. And as far as endorsement deals and sponsorships, crickets, man. You know what I mean? There's nothing there for her. So when controversies repeatedly dominate the conversation, they become part of an athlete's public brand. And that just, it is what it is. I think that's fair. She may think it's unfair, but that's her reality. Now, she should learn from Adrian Broner, because Adrian Broner is a comeback example. You look at AB trying to rebuild his public image, trying to rebuild his brand, trying to rebrand himself. AB is doing it. People are looking at him saying, yo, this is a transformation. Real time. This isn't just sitting back, pressing play on somebody's journey, a 1 hour video to show them starting at point A and ending up at point Z, and they've lost weight or they stopped smoking, drinking, or whatever it was. AB is showing you in real time what he's doing to get himself back into a healthier space. But I'm telling you this for a reason. Rebuilding involves accepting responsibility and past mistakes. Claressa should be paying attention to Adrian Broner. She can learn from him because he was on top of the world. As far as what Adrian Broner was and where he was going, what she doing ain't shit compared to where he was at and where he was going. He threw that shit away. That about billions, Adrian Broner could have become a billionaire, but he threw it away. So she's not paying attention to see he threw it away and he's getting a lot of it back. I mean, in a really fast time. But he accepted the responsibility for his past mistakes. He's trying to demonstrate change over time, trying to get it together. He's remaining focused. He now has professional goals, as well as personal goals, and he's remaining consistent to attain them. He's not perfect. He's not perfect, but we understand that. But we accept him because he's acknowledged he's not perfect, but he's trying to get better. You can't knock somebody when they're trying. And whether an athlete, I'd say any athlete, successfully rebuilds their reputation depends on consistent actions over the long term. That's why everybody's watching AB, because they're saying, okay, he's being pretty consistent. Let's see when the money really get nice, because he's a millionaire again. He's making real dough streaming. But if he get that 15, 20, 30 million, what's he going to do? Is he going to revert back to his toxic ways and throw it away again? Or is he going to be humbled? It's like Vibes Cartel. Y'all follow Dancehall? Vibes Cartel and Movado. They were going at it. Anyway, Vibes Cartel ended up in prison for 13 years, making poor decisions. Man came out of prison, took over the whole goddamn world, man. You know what I mean? This man, his life is like he had a song, God is the greatest. Y'all don't know who Vibes Cartel is? Y'all should go and look up who Vibes Cartel is and what he was to dancehall and what he did to his life. 13 years, lost it, and then got another opportunity. And look at what he's done with that opportunity. Man hitting grand slams. You watch Adrian Broner. Y'all know who he was. He was on top of the world. Threw that shit away. Now he's getting another opportunity. Adrian Broner is boxing's Vibes Cartel. You know what I'm saying? He hitting grand slams, but he got to remain consistent. Vibes Cartels remain consistent. Claressa Shields could be the female boxing's Adrian Broner. But she has to do what he did first and humble herself and shut the fuck up and take accountability. And then hit some grand slams. But she's so far gone. Her shit is bad. But pay attention to what he's doing. Because you got to be consistent over time. People are watching Adrian Broner's actions, just like they're watching Vibes Cartel. And now Claressa Shields, she need to be looking and saying, damn, if they can do it, I can do it. But she has a team around her that I don't think they want her to change. They want her to keep being destructive. That's why she said, I'm going all out. The next person to basically disrespect me, I'm going all out. So she ain't ready to change. She ready to keep going all out, crashing out, and making a complete ass of herself. So good luck to her. But AB, we're watching you. We're rooting for you. Don't throw it away again. Now, fight night today, Zepeda and Roach. Zepeda and Roach, look, man, very compelling stylistic matchup. You know what I mean? Whoever wins, I ain't really have much to say. I've talked about them enough already. I'll just say they positioned themselves amongst the elite. You know what I mean? And the loser's going to have to rebuild momentum. Zepeda just lost to Stevenson. Roach has 2 draws. Neither one of them, I mean, that's not really good. For Roach, it's not bad, but it's not really good. And for Zepeda, it's not bad to lose, but he did lose to Shakur. So both of them are in a similar space. But the bottom line is they both have to win. And that division they're fighting in is very competitive. I mean, anything from 130 to 140. Shit is competitive as hell. But I just think pressure versus technique makes this an especially intriguing fight. And I'm looking forward to it. Now, Ryan Garcia. I don't know. The more I pay attention to this, I think Conor Benn got a chance. But I think he's going to end up having a chance. Not because he should, because I think within the first 30 seconds, Ryan should knock him out. But because Ryan Garcia is out here, WWE, doing karaoke, now he talking about rematching Gervonta Davis. What you doing discussing future opponents before you get in the ring with Conor Benn? Now, I just think Ryan's supposed to win that fight, but goddamn it, if he gets in there underestimating this man and he gives Conor Benn an opportunity, it's going to be all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he out here talking about Gervonta Davis, and history shows us when you start overlooking opponents directly in front of you, that shit is risky. So I think what Ryan's doing is very risky. I do think he's not going to, I don't think he's going to just be so irresponsible that he gets in the ring out of shape. But I'm just telling you, if he's genuinely overlooking Ben or simply answering media questions, it's impossible to know from the outside. But me, I prefer to see fighters keep their focus on the immediate challenge, and not talk about anything else. But Ryan a little bit quirky and shit, so he does things his own way. Now, this August 15th card is still creating questions, man. He got 2 weeks out, Claressa Shields, K. Scott, people trying to figure out what the hell is going on. You know what I'm saying? Confusion about the portions of the lineup. Zeus, Dimitri Salita. When is the Zeus portion of the card going to air on Zeus Network? When is the Dimitri Salita, the zone portion of the card going to air? The fans who are coming, when we come, are we going to see all the Zeus fights first and that's over? Then we watch the traditional boxing card with Claressa Shields and all those other fights? And if that's the case, we just came to watch the Zeus piece, we're leaving. And because we don't care to watch the rest of that shit. It just seems like a big cluster, in my opinion. But there are a lot of questions about this card. It's like a scrambled egg. It's all over the place. Uncertainty surrounding the role of Zeus Network programming and fights, and It's just all screwed up. But I tell you what, man, only the final event presentation will determine how these changes affect the audience interest. And it's going to be funny if they have the whole Zeus card take place before the traditional card with Claressa and the boxers, and half the people leave. That's going to be crazy. So that's what I'm looking at. What's going to keep the people there who only came to see the baddies or the Zeus portion? If they only came to see that and they leave, what happens? Especially if the majority of the people who showed up just to see that. So what's going to keep them there? That's why I said, fuck, it doesn't make, the way they're doing this doesn't make sense. But the final presentation on Fight Night will determine whether it's a success or not. Right now, nobody knows. Now, something else that nobody knows. Is the WBA trying to prank Jarrell Big Baby Miller? They messed around and announced Jarrell Big Baby Miller as the damn mandatory for the WBA title. I mean, had his fans going crazy, had Jarrell Big Baby Miller going crazy, had me scratching my head like, goddamn. They just totally, forgave this man, didn't they? For the bullshit he did in the past. But, I mean, he has done everything he could to rebuild himself and to reposition himself and have people take him serious. You know what I mean? He's been winning, testing clean. He's doing the right thing. But that's what happens when you hit rock bottom sometimes. It humbles your ass. But now he's out here and I'm rooting for him. Okay, hey, I'm rooting for him. But I just think the WBA saying they incorrectly identified him as a mandatory challenger. I think they pranked his ass and shit. He's good for a joke with that wig and shit coming off his head. But it just shows you that how inaccurate information can get highlighted and spread in modern boxing news cycles. And sometimes we just got to hold our horses and not take it to the stupid. And just don't believe anything until you see it for yourself or the fight gets announced or somebody gets in the ring, because it's Keyshawn and Devin, we thought that was going to happen. And then with Jarrell Big Baby Miller, we thought that he was going to be fighting for Garcia for his title. Then you find out none of that shit is happening. So it is what it is, man. But the information that we've been finding out this week demonstrated once again that boxing conversations extend far beyond what happens in the ring. Contract decisions, public image, promotional strategy, and media narratives all influence how fighters are perceived. Ultimately, sustained success usually depends on combining skill with smart career management and consistent performances. And we're rooting for AB. We're rooting for AB. We hope Keyshawn, figures out what he's doing with himself. See what Devin's going to do next. And good luck to Lamont Roach and Zepeda. I'm going to be checking that fight out tonight. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.